Bridgerage is first. How's it going, guys? Good to see you. Oh man, what an evening. Uh, yeah, Bridge, if you can't hang out, I understand. How's it going, Ursa? Bridge, if you can hear me, how's it going? Hope you're well. So yeah, so my brother and I were doing some weed whacking today. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do about an hour of work, an hour of work in the evenings, at least okay. And I hear a ka-chunk from the other side of the property, and I look, and my brother has skipped the treads on a big piece of equipment that we own for mowing the lawn. Now it is a two-man job to get that sucker back on, so I'm like, well, I guess that's what I'm doing for the next 2 hours. And so, I'm sorry stream is late. What game are we playing? We're playing Kyle is Famous. Now this is a visual novel similar to I don't have the energy for DRG. I'm sorry. Maybe tomorrow, depends on what I'm doing, but I would love to play more. Yeah, this is like a visual novel, like Stanley Parable, multiple endings, goofy, silly. I think it's voice acted, but this is by the same guy that made Friendly Neighborhood, the Muppet game we played last week. So I'm like, you know what? It's a short game. I've got 2-ish hours of stream that I'm probably able to give. So why don't we just play a little goofy game? As always, music I play during intros, outros, and during my breaks. It's made by my buddy Owl Beats. You find him wherever you can find music. Also, Ursa, do you still use your other Twitch account? Or have you done just that one for now? Yes? Okay. Because I'm like, when I'm on my phone, got it. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you were a VIP. And I was so confused, but then I realized it was your other account. Got it. Oh man, my body hurts. Just too lazy to log in on my account on my computer. You're fine. Do you prefer the Ursa Bear account? Because I can just swap it. Nah, you're good, homie. No judgment. So yeah, we're playing Kyle is Famous. Because I am exhausted, and it's not that long of a game.
Kyle woke up. He is famous.
God. Yeah, guys, it's voice acted. So basically, I'm showing you a story, and I'm just here for the ride.
Kyle is host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Oh no! He's a celebrity influencer!
Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year, and the public has noticed. Inside has called Kyle a most excellent dumpy white man.
dumpy white man.
Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields.
Okay.
Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details.
Ooh, getting the spicy deets on his sex life.
Most online videos are best of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast.
I mean, if this is like in the instance of like John Oliver, I could believe this.
The eye of the world is upon Kyle. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet.
Ooh.
Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She is a kind and lovely philanthropist.
So we better not fuck this up.
She is dear to the hearts of many. This interview requires preparation.
All right, we gotta not fuck this up. That's our goal. To not fuck it
Kyle
up.
cracked his eyes open, knowing today is his last chance to prepare for the interview.
Okay.
Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely.
So yeah, similar to Stanley, it's just fucking stupid. So our goal is to prepare Kyle for the most appropriate day. Man who speaks in hands. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you being here. I hope you're having a good time. Hi, word. I apologize the stream is starting so late. Appreciate you being here. How are you? I'm exhausted. I don't know if you're here for the intro of stream, but had a really difficult bit of maintenance we had to do. So that's about where I am. Do you take game requests? Sometimes. The issue is affording them, you know? Kyle's first decision in the morning was made wisely. Bed rot or do responsibilities. I think for now, we're going to do responsibilities. Interesting. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his room. I think we have to look nice. What about if it's completely free? Just trying to find players. Maybe. I'm down to hear about it, though. I think we have to look nice, you know? It took us an hour to get out of bed, by the way. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark, and you could only really see his hanging shirts. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Yes, so I agree. A suit of armor. Skunk pasties. Jeans and swimming goggles. A slick suit. So I think similar to Stanley, we're going to take the first run seriously. So we're going to do a slick suit.
Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks.
I can't access the random knickknacks. VR versus PC. Oh, is that the one where you're fighting like an Attack on Titan guy? I think I've seen that game. Only issue is I don't have a VR set. Kyle returned to the center of his room. We've already spent 5 hours. So we've already done the closet. Sit at the desk. Maybe this is for interview questions? Yeah. Made his way over to the desk. It took us an hour to walk from one side of the room to the other, guys. Check in desk drawer. Kyle opened up the side drawer of his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. Small key.
Kyle grabbed the small key he kept in his desk.
Interesting. Let's write notes for the interview.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Am I a mother? Is your mother a mother? Are you a mother? Are you a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Beef, mashed or blended? Ever eaten a raw egg whole? Oh man. What are some diet tips? Again,
Kyle
we're taking
wrote
it
down
seriously.
his third question.
I purposefully ran over a puppy. What's your funniest story?
Kyle wrote down his last question.
What's your guilty pleasure? Do you feel guilty? Are you guilty? What's your guilty pleasure?
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Okay. Over to the desk, back to the room. I guess scavenge?
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
bugs! Gossip!
Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words
Just
from
looking
the
for
neighbors
people
below.
with PC. I might play it. I'll have to look into it, but I appreciate the offer. Okay.
I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon.
Oh,
girlfriend,
no!
tell me more. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers. There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened, and someone exited the neighbor's apartment.
That's quite enough. 8 hours. Exit bedroom to the hallway. Ooh, we're running out of time. I'm gonna go for it. Visit downstairs neighbor.
Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked.
Hi, Kat. How are you, love?
A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Uh-oh.
Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully.
Ooh, we learned about
Gabby
this.
looked at Kyle expectantly. Gabby, asked Kyle, are you the bug vigilante?
Steam Lake? I'll just look it up. I got you. I will just look it up and I'll have it in my... Excuse me. Pardon me. Yeah, I've seen trailers for this. It looks silly.
For a moment, Gabby looked stunned, but then she realized his
I'm out of
seriousness.
time. Do I fuck up?
Gabby nodded once. The door shut in Kyle's face.
Reasonable. She's like, nope.
Kyle, sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
Awesome.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes.
It's
I've
just
been looking
one
forward
voice
to being
actor,
here."
not multiple voice actors.
Kyle responded.
Scream and spin and circle. No, we're serious. Stay on target. Answer politely.
And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You are a most welcome guest.
Shake hands, obviously.
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast.
So it looks like we can't be late. It'll just send us over.
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
If the cameras are on, we probably need to start the broadcast.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera.
You don't even know the
Welcome back
family.
to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she
Jesus
said.
Christ.
I'm glad to be here.
Ah, wonderful.
In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor.
Oh!
From a combination of stressful preparation and not eating anything, Kyle had passed out.
No!
Nobody in the studio quite knew what to do with him. They began to poke Kyle in the back to see if he moved.
Oh, instead of actually helping us. Got it.
After a while, they ended the broadcast, shut off the lights, and went home.
Did they leave me here?
Kyle was left face first
What
on the floor.
a bunch of fucking assholes! Wow. Sending all the love, going back to lurk. Goodbye, cat. Much love.
Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. Kyle exited. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark.
Oh,
He
that's
could really
just,
only see his hanging.
First decision. Hey, alright. Speed run. Speed run. Okay. Open closet. Choose an outfit. Slick suit.
Kyle.
Sit at desk. Write notes.
Kyle wrote down.
Mother.
Kyle wrote down.
Diet tips.
Kyle wrote down.
Funniest story.
Kyle.
Guilty pleasure. Back to room. Exit. Kitchen. Fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Eat crust on fridge wall. Eat the entire fridge. Or prepare condiments. Or preparing breakfast. Preparing breakfast.
Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast, along with a small fruit cup and a grilled sausage.
Yeah, I needed a good little giggle this evening. Eat.
Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite.
I didn't like the crunching noises.
He felt refreshed.
I hated that. Okay, return to hallway. Interesting. So by interaction with the neighbor, I actually lost time. Turn to bedroom. Sit at desk. Check in drawers. Small
Kyle.
key. Now we'll go back to the bedroom. Locked door.
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
Oh, the small key is not to the locked door. How do you have a locked door in your own apartment, dumbass?
Kyle.
We're out of time.
Kyle.
Hurry to set. Da-da-da-da.
Kyle responded.
Polite.
And I-
Shake hands.
After-
More.
A moment.
Start broadcast.
Good evening, everyone.
Introduce.
Tonight,
More. More.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as
Perfect.
well dive right in, said Kyle. I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier.
Yep. Okay. So I'm assuming I just go through this list, right? I prepared serious, genuine questions. So, are you a mother?
Rachel, I and many others would love to know, are you a mother? Kyle looked
Would
up
you like
his
to
notes.
be?
Well, being a single woman with a career, she answered, that's not something that has crossed my mind.
Reasonable.
Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle. Very reasonable indeed, said
See,
Kyle.
Kyle
with
can
reference to
be
paper of
reasonable.
questions.
Kyle can be reasonable when he's not eating his refrigerator.
Kyle asked another question.
Funniest story.
You've been involved in a lot of different things, said Kyle. But what's your funniest story? Well, that's a great question, Kyle, said Rachel. I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family. In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt in the pot.
What?
While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped their things and locked myself in my room.
Swiped their things?
Kyle
Huh.
asked another question.
Weird.
We all have one. What's your guilty pleasure? Ooh, well, that's an easy answer, said Rachel, dipping pickles in chocolate sauce.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Like, supposedly, like, this is something people actually enjoy. So I'm not actually that surprised by that.
It might sound strange, but it's tangy and sweet at the same time. I eat it far too often. Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle asked another question. Rachel, you manage to keep such a thin and healthy figure, said Kyle. What is your best diet tip?
Queen Valkyrie, thank you for the raid. As always, you are so appreciated. Let me get you a quick shout out for the people that are here. If you guys like Overwatch, I know I don't stream it much anymore, but Valk certainly does. So if you like Overwatch, please go check her out. Mean a lot to me, mean a lot to her. There's a shout out, Valk. Go check Valk out. How was your stream, Valkyrie? For those of you that don't know, my name is Gio. Usually I play a lot of shooters. But tonight I am exhausted and I need to play something a little silly and something just for a giggle. Thank you. Always, Valk. But yeah, I hope Overwatch wasn't too bad. Hope everyone is having a wonderful end to your week. It's Friday. Hope you have some drinks. I have my beer. Did some goofs and Apex. Got it. Yeah, we're playing a silly visual novel. It's similar to Stanley Parable. It's just for giggles.
Well, a good diet starts with a plan, answered Rachel. And don't break it. Cheat days can turn into a habit.
Reasonable.
But, she continued, that doesn't mean a midnight snack here and there isn't allowed. She smiled. Kyle looked at his flabby self, decided not to comment, and moved on.
Yeah, Kyle. If you weren't eating your goddamn fridge every day.
After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return?
Ooh, flipping
asked Rachel,
the script.
smiling one more time. Do you prepare for your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together. Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over.
Interesting.
Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well. But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing.
Something was missing? Interesting. Was that not the quote-unquote good ending? But something seemed to be missing. Huh. Kyle had no food. So I had the key. Is that what that's saying? Or requires the small key?
Kyle woke up. He
is famous. Alright, let's go for a goofy one. Wither.
Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died.
Guys, the bed rot consumes. The bed rot consumes.
Kyle is now a ghost. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities.
Not in America, it doesn't. You still have to go to work even if you're dead. Ghost. Ghost Kyle. Ghost Kyle. I don't need to eat, do I? Do I need to get dressed? I don't think so. I don't want to prepare. Exit. Check locked door.
Kyle walked
Float
over
through.
to the strange door in the hallway.
Guys, I'm so
but found
smart.
Quickly that Kyle used his ghostly powers to walk straight through the door.
Chet? What? What? Get laser claymore. Check sewing machine. I just have to know what these all do, right?
Kyle walked over to the dilapidated sewing machine. Its box was only half removed.
Interesting. So that might require us to have something else. So that's just not an answer right now. Get laser claymore.
Expecting a battle, Kyle grabbed the laser claymore.
Okay, we have a lightsaber. Supernatural artifact.
This was one of the many mysterious artifacts Kyle had been sent over the years.
We're a ghost, who cares?
Kyle stashed the mysterious artifact for later use.
Okay. Great. Fuck it. Haunt around, guys. Yeah.
Kyle felt a sudden pull on his heart. Had he abandoned his job as a ghost? Was he fulfilling his spooky, ethereal role that he'd accepted while lying in bed this morning?
Valk, thank you for the lyric. If I don't see you again, have a wonderful rest of your night.
Kyle realized he had no other choice. He must spend his day spooking about.
Spooking about.
Kyle decided he should make a plan about who or where he should spook.
Yay! Heard it's what Overwatch 2 is supposed to be. I heard it's just a silly copy. Lawton, good morning. How's it going? We're playing a goofy game because I have no energy. I don't want to spook myself. Fuck it.
Kyle could think of nobody better to spook than himself. Kyle sat on the sidewalk and looked at the ground. He took a deep breath.
He's just gonna start screaming.
Kyle began to scream uncontrollably, as he had managed to spook himself by his very existence.
Real.
Kyle jumped up from the sidewalk and began to run around, flailing his arms. Unfortunately, Kyle was unable to escape from the fact that he was himself.
True. The horrors of being a person.
Kyle spent several minutes screaming. But as he screamed, Kyle realized it was becoming time for Rachel's interview.
we actually ended the day.
Continuing to scream, Kyle traveled to his studio.
You heard it's more than a clone? Nice.
That evening, Kyle tried to do well by his duties and conduct the interview with Rachel. But being able to only express pure terror, the episode consisted only of Rachel watching him scream. The episode was very popular. Kyle was asked to continue screaming in the next episode, and the next. Kyle's show was rebranded to Kyle is Scared with Kyle. The studio went on to produce many episodes.
What the fuck?
Kyle remained existentially terrified of himself.
Real. Kyle had many adventures around town. Kyle haunted himself. Okay. First, what is this brain rot? It's for giggles. That's all. Okay, so ace the bed. Scavenge?
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for
resources? For pylons, perhaps?
Kyle began to comb through the damp piles of filth and mold on his floor in search of helpful items. After finding and eating a few bits of crumbs and old cheese, Kyle found something much more important. Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry, a friend that had gone missing years ago while at Kyle's house.
Oh. Just in the carpet?
Kyle was glad to see him again, but was unsure of whether to interrupt such an important day with Harry business.
No, we've got time. We've got time to deal with Harry.
Kyle hoisted Harry onto his shoulder and took him outside.
Nope, that seems like the wrong choice.
Kyle began dragging Harry's body down the street, drawing many, many stares.
Yeah, reasonable.
Kyle knew exactly where he needed to take Harry's corpse. On a lovely playdate, just the two of them.
Jesus Christ. I think this has also ended the day. Oh, the yellow one, the yellow option must have been a set timeline that we can no longer interact with.
Kyle and Harry started at the arcade. Kyle used Harry's arms to operate the joysticks and push buttons.
Horrible. A horrible flesh pinata.
After 5 or 6 different games, the two friends had enough tickets for a single candy bar.
I don't think Harry needs it, if I'm being honest.
They took their prize to the local park for eating. Kyle tried to feed some of the chocolate bar to Harry, but Harry seemed to not have an appetite.
I think Kyle is has let fame get to his head.
After eating, Kyle noticed a nearby playground. He dragged Harry over. Kyle tried to figure out a way to swing Harry onto the swing set, but lacking the ability to grip, Harry kept falling out.
Just face first.
Instead, Kyle started to lug Harry to the top of the slide and shove him down time and time again.
What a horrible visual this sequence has provided.
Finally, Kyle took Harry to the movies to see as many popular films as their pocket change allowed. Kyle quickly found that he had no pocket change, so he searched through Harry's pockets until he found his wallet.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Harry. I'll pay you back next time.
Kyle bought 2 tickets to A Love Romance. After getting inside, Kyle left Harry to go find a restroom. By the time Kyle had finished using the restroom, he had forgotten that he brought Harry along. Kyle watched a love romance by himself. Harry's corpse sat on a bench in the atrium.
Wow, what a dick, Kyle. Hi, cutie pie. Hi, plant. It's so good to see you. As the stream title suggests, I am exhausted and I started late, and so we're playing a goofy ass game for a giggle.
While Kyle was in the movie, a beautiful thing happened.
Please enlighten me.
Harry's corpse, imbued with the power of friendship and love,
There was
reanimated.
nothing that could have prepared me for this. Absolutely nothing.
Harry's old, rotten flesh gained color and life. His fingernails regrew. His missing eye came back.
Horrible. 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 Yucky.
By the time the movie was over, Harry was able to greet Kyle with a large, friendly hug as his old self.
I mean, that's adorable. But like... okay. What broke? So we have a big piece of equipment that we use on our property. It's a skid steer, and so those have treads. And my brother managed to pop off the entire left tread of our skid steer, and so that's a two-man job to fix. So he needed my help. It was okay. Like, nothing actually broke, but it was something that definitely needed hands to fix.
Kyle was confused but delighted to have his long-lost friend meet him on his way out of the theater.
It's like, hey, I haven't seen you in 2 years. Forgetting that he was dead and died. I wonder how Harry died. Like, did the fucking carpet eat him?
The two made plans to get drinks together and parted ways for the day.
Wonderful.
Kyle returned home, forgetting about the interview with Rachel.
Shit! Kyle helped a friend. We didn't get an achievement for that one. Around town, 6 of 10. Oh, interesting. I've had to replace treads on those. Yeah, it is so much work. He murdered him. Here's the thing, man. I don't know what to call you. Hands? Man hands? It's nothing against you, I promise, but I don't know you. And I don't know how comfortable I am playing games with a stranger. But if you hang out in the Discord and I get to know you a bit better, then maybe, absolutely maybe. But for right now, the answer is probably going to be no. Anything but man hands. Gaster? I like Gaster. Oh, obviously, the man who speaks in hands is Gaster. Obviously, yes. Sick Undertale reference, guys! Not the man hands.
Kyle
that's
up.
totally fine. I appreciate the understanding. I'm pretty careful with who I hang out with on the internet, because you don't know who you're gonna end up talking to. But if you hang out in the Discord, and I get to know you a bit better, then absolutely, there's a decent chance that we play games at some point. Not the man hands. Okay, so we found Kyle. Or no, we found Harry. And Harry gave us basically nothing. But I'm glad that we found him. Let's just leave. Visit the tech store. We haven't been to the tech store yet. Kyle walked into the clean white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, an elaborate cutout mascot playing soft music from a small microphone. Steel Techno Jim! Fuck. Oh. You have a strict policy for no using Discord. Oh, I understand. Well, in that case, if you become a frequent member of the community on Twitch, and you know, earn a little bit of trust, then maybe I'll join you from there. How about that? I had some bad experiences. I understand that. I get that. There's some fucking weirdos on Discord. Let's do a normal route from here. Because I haven't been here yet.
Kyle asked the store attendant whether or not they offered any free samples to important customers.
Oh, he is a fucking celebrity influencer. What a fucking asshole.
The attendant gave Kyle a confused and slightly vacant look. Kyle began to beg for a free sample.
What a loser, man. This is what money does to people.
Wanting Kyle to leave, the attendant grabbed a decrepit phone meant for spare parts and held it out.
Crap with teeth.
Kyle firmly clamped his mouth around the outstretched phone, creating several punctures in the screen.
I'ma go. I appreciate you hanging out, Gaster. Thank you for the follow. I hope to see you around. Have a wonderful night.
Kyle grunted and yanked with his head until the attendant let go of the phone. The phone is now Kyle's to use forever.
We have a working but cracked phone. I was checking some stuff to make an appointment to do my FAFSA, but I don't know about any of my testing except I probably passed most of my classes. Congratulations, Giorno. Well done. I'm actually gonna stay. Playing with my emotions, man. Now you're good. Phone forever. Well, we have it in future runs. That is an interesting question. That is a fascinating question because the game did highlight that it's his forever. If that's how that is, Moth, that is incredible. Let's go back to the tech store and acquire. No, wait, we have to give the review.
This phone, said Kyle, is several years old and has exposed wires coming out of the back. Kyle continued. Also, the screen has had issues ever since I used it to hammer nails into the wall.
I fucking hate Kyle.
Furthermore, when I submerge it in water, I get severely shocked until it runs out of battery.
Oh, God, Kyle's such an asshole.
The attendant looked at Kyle, pursed his lips, and said nothing.
He gave him the white person nod, You know the one,
Feeling he had made his argument, Kyle decided to leave.
That's it. That's literally it. Visit tech store. We're stealing Techno Gym. This is mine now.
Quickly, before the attendant could acknowledge him, Kyle grabbed Techno Jim by the shoulders.
I am out of water, Giorno. Give me 1 second to finish this run.
Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground. Kyle started to heave upwards. After several tugs, Techno Jim broke free, leaving 1 foot and 1 leg behind.
Were they the same foot and leg, or are they different?
Kyle glanced at the attendant, who was staring, bewildered, and ran outside.
Continue the tape. What do we do? What do we do? Speaking of playing with emotions, do you have a piano? If so, can you play the notes D4, D4, D5, A4? Don't act like I don't know what that is, Gaster. I needed this. I just needed a good fucking giggle, man. So we're running out of time. What do we do with Techno Jim now that we have him?
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
Does this work or does this fuck us up?
Kyle decided it would be best to try to force the door open with use of his face. After smashing his features into solid wood for several minutes, Kyle gained severe short-term amnesia.
Oh, no. So we have a busted-ass phone, a mannequin that short circuits, and we don't know why. I mean, we're out of time. Return to bedroom. Is there anything we can do with Techno Gym? Doesn't look like it. No.
Kyle.
How do we know to go to the
from
set?
his host chair was a glam. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day.
You just... Wow, we weren't wearing... Kyle sleeps nude, guys. Is that what fame and money does to people? You just sleep nude?
Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eye. Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly.
The poor tech attendant. Actually, you're right. With this context, we went to the store completely butt-ass naked. But apparently it doesn't affect anything unless we go to the interview naked. So I think that's fine.
As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuses and exited the set.
That's the most reasonable play, honestly.
One by one, the crew followed suit.
Yeah.
Kyle was left all alone.
Unlocked a new cursor. Kyle prepared by being a nudist. Okay. Kyle was a nudist. Dude, there's 117 endings. I mean, I wonder how many we'll get tonight. I can only play until I get exhausted. Unlocks. Cool. A flat... Does this actually do something? Oh, there's expansions. Interesting. This is the complete edition.
Kyle woke.
Oh, Moth, you were right! Moth, you're a fucking genius. I really wish I hadn't bit the phone. Browse social media. We have a
Kyle
phone.
started to scroll through news articles on his phone. Stay Up Late with Kyle ranked #1 and #2 show on television.
How?
New East Bridge being constructed after being found to not actually exist. Authorities investigating.
They just forgot.
Another grand larceny and crime spree streak. Evidence points to perpetrator fleeing the country.
Okay.
Rachel May to unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after interview tonight.
Oh, shit. Rachel May is a criminal.
Who is the bug vigilante recently spotted pursuing larcenists?
It took, to be clear, Giorno, it took us an hour to read that sentence.
Kyle fails to show up to several charity events.
He is a shitty fucking social media celebrity influencer.
Bug vigilante shows up to charity events with fresh baked pastries. Donations flourish.
Huh, okay.
Hot dogs making resurgence as fuel source for both humans and tugboats.
Uh-huh, okay.
Phone model recall.
By the way,
Techno Gym stores blame overuse by customers.
phone model recall. I mean, that's the one we have.
Kyle's phone exploded in his hands from overuse.
Oh, fuck. Oh, you fucking stupid fucking game. That is so funny. That... Oh, I needed this. I needed a big old giggle tonight. Also, there isn't much music, so I'm gonna get Awa back in here. By the way, if you like lo-fi, go check out my boy Awa Beats. He's a homie. Okay, so we have the broken phone now. And a flashlight. I don't know if the flashlight helps us. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's... Was it scavenge for gossip?
Kyle quickly crouched down.
Yes.
I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers.
Uh-huh.
There was a stunned silence.
Okay, so we've learned gossip. Let's just go and talk to the neighbor now. Maybe we get something.
Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Consume Gabby!
Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly. Gabby, asked Kyle, are you the bug vigilante? For a moment, Gabby looked stunned, but then she realized his seriousness. Gabby nodded once.
Uh-huh.
The door shut in Kyle's face.
I wonder if there's any way to get out of that. Steel Technogen.
Fine. Kyle.
Okay, so this is just gonna be nudist, right?
Rachel
Yeah, not
smiled,
put on
quickly
clothes.
turned to shock as she realized.
Okay, so we know what happens when we browse social media. Our phone explodes. Exit. Grounded. What is grounded? I look.
The people have spoken.
Oh, it's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Players have joined. Now, it's your turn to
Maybe. I'm trying to make a variant of Mafia. Ooh. It's the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game. Yeah, literally what I said. And what Plant said. A variant of Mafia. Ooh! Gentle. I clicked on something. Made it all in the car. Oh, is these just different rules to Mafia? Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, so I don't think talking to Gabby about vigilante stuff helps us at all.
Kyle quickly
I mean, why
crouched
don't we
down on
do
the floor,
this? Let's get
realizing his...
gossip.
What are you so happy about?
Well, what I... There was...
Let's get gossip, then go talk to her.
Kyle... A middle-aged woman named Gabby.
Conversation.
Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked
Ask
at
Gabby about Gabby.
Gabby. Gabby stiffened. Oh, you know, she said, putting on a fake smile. I just sit around here. Yes, I don't get around much. Never go out at night. I just stay here, right here. Gabby glared at Kyle. Convinced by Gabby's statement, Kyle bid her goodbye and
Fuck it.
returned to the street.
Even though you know it's a lie. What an idiot. Mafia the musical. They can't say anything unless they choose the song. Convey the message, they have to sing it. Player, if they have a message they really need to convey. Interesting. So it just it's like a singing curse where you have to play music to convey what you're trying to say. Interesting. That's cute. I like that. So return to the... So I bet there's something with Gabby. So let's actually just restart. I don't think Vigilante gets us anything. Ooh, I messed up. Scavenge for gossip.
Kyle.
What are you so happy about?
Leave apartment. Neighbor.
A middle-aged woman.
So
Good
ask
morning,
Gabby
neighbor,
about
said Kyle.
Gabby.
cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle.
Let's ask about Rachel.
Gabby, Kyle asked, "What are your true thoughts about Rachel May?" Oh, Rachel? Gabby said. She's a wonderful woman. Her generous acts have inspired more good work than bad.
Interesting. So the vigilante is fighting some of Rachel's, like, misdeeds? Question mark?
Gabby trailed off, not meeting Kyle's eyes. After several uncomfortable minutes of silence, Kyle turned around and left.
Okay, so that's not it. Exit bed. Scavenge. Gossip.
What are you so happy about?
Exit. Leave apartment. Neighbor.
A middle-aged woman. Good morning, neighbor.
Ask Gabby about Kyle.
Gabby. The expectation on Gabby's face transformed into consternation. Even the worst of men are given grace, Kyle, she replied, though they don't deserve it. As she finished her sentence, she gently pushed Kyle away and shut the door.
Uh-huh. Wow. Fascinating. Okay, so scavenge.
Kyle.
Gossip.
There was a... Kyle. Good morning, neighbor.
Oh, I've
said
tried
Kyle
all these.
cheerfully.
Shit.
Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly.
So I'm actually what I'm gonna do. I have a plan. Closet.
Kyle.
Outfit.
Kyle.
Scavenge. Gossip.
What are you so happy about?
Exit. We're gonna talk to the neighbor
Kyle. A middle-aged.
about being a vigilante. Yeah. Then we're going to skip to the end of the day.
Kyle. Sitting. Kyle responded.
Answer politely.
And I.
Shake hands.
A moment after seating.
Gossip.
Good evening, everybody, said Kyle. My neighbor is a bug vigilante. With nothing more to say on the matter, he fell silent.
What do you mean?
Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going. The producer started cutting to different camera angles to break the tension.
So fucking stupid.
Kyle continued to remain silent and stare forward blankly.
Sorry for the wall text. It sounds interesting having a musical aspect added to the game. Yeah, it sounds like fun, man. Very cool.
After several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked out onto set.
Uh-huh.
Hi, everyone, she said, smiling hollowly. My name is Gabby, and I'm not a bug vigilante.
Okay.
False.
False!
Kyle looked at Gabby and then returned to staring forwards. Gabby began to reply, but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt.
Fucking stupid.
Bug girl,
It squawked.
a robbery's in progress on East 3rd. Report immediate.
Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot. After a beat, she spoke tightly. Something has come up suddenly and I must go.
Reasonable.
Gabby left the set. Well, said Kyle, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel.
Fucking stupid.
Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked past the cameras, leaving her alone. Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast.
Uh-huh.
In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Kyle dubbed this show as a masterpiece of television.
Why?
Stay Up Late with Kyle's online pages were updated to reflect this broadcast as the most popular
Why?
ever. Kyle's producer later tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very, very, very busy.
Reasonable. I wouldn't want to talk again if I sat there and just watched a vigilante get unmasked. Kyle talked about Gabby. Was that an ending? Yes. Okay. Cool. Jody doesn't understand good TV.
Kyle woke up.
Is there an autoplayer?
famous.
No. I would let the intro autoplay so I could fill up my water bottle. Give me 1 second to fill up my water bottle, guys. It's quite warm, and I know that there's a water bottle redemption, so... Guys, water's fucking delicious. If you guys don't have some water with you, go get some. Okay, so what's the new plan? Let's try to do more of the wander around town endings. There's a rusty locker.
Kyle knelt down and inspected the old, rusty container that had been in his closet for ages. It was locked, but had a blade-shaped slot in the top.
Uh-huh. So we know what that is.
Kyle walked
Oh
over to
no,
the
we're gonna get
strange door in the
amnesia.
hallway, but found quickly
Let's
that
restart. Wither away
Kyle
to become a ghost. Exit bedroom, locked door,
Kyle walked over
float through.
Kyle,
Laser claymore. Back to hallway. Return to bedroom, closet, rusty locker.
Kyle knelt down.
Insert
and inspected
laser
the old, rusty
claymore!
container that had been in his closet for ages. It was locked, but had a blade-shaped slot in the top. Kyle took the laser claymore in his hand and slid it into the hole on top of the box. The box began to rumble slowly, but then it shook harder and harder.
We're releasing the demons.
Suddenly, with a snap, the box lid came loose. Kyle, giddy with excitement, grabbed the box to drag it into the light. With much sweating and pulling, Kyle slowly inched the box out of his closet. He began to giggle and drool.
Don't eat it, Kyle, you fucking weirdo.
Soon, the box had been transported into the middle of the room.
Uh-huh.
Kyle clapped his hands together and gripped the lid on either side. With a tug, it tumbled to the floor, revealing the contents of the box.
What's this, Raiders of the Lost Ark? It's not that big.
There was nothing inside.
Oh, come on.
Kyle was incredibly disappointed. This had been an opportunity for him, a way to find something new, a way to break up the routine. Suddenly, Kyle was struck with an unquenchable feeling of boredom about his life.
Do we take the laser claymore and go on a killing spree? Like we did with Harry?
Kyle jumped to his feet and burst outside, hungry to find anything that could give his day a feeling of interest.
Uh-oh.
Painfully, Kyle started grabbing anything he could reach, smashing it into his face to see what it could possibly do for him.
Got it. So not killing other people, we're gonna kill ourselves.
Rocks, benches, people, squirrels, and the ground itself fell into Kyle's grasp. But soon, his energy began to wane. Slowly, sadly, Kyle made his way back to his apartment, quietly grabbing small items off the ground and rubbing them against himself. Kyle slowly sank into his bed, as bored as when he had left earlier that day.
Why?
He looked at the ceiling, feeling hollow. The day had been very hard. As he slowly fell asleep, Kyle wondered what he could possibly do tomorrow to inspire a new sense of interest in his life.
Ghost!
He didn't know it then, but tomorrow, Kyle would try something new.
Cute. Okay, Kyle is hot dog? What is Kyle is hot dog? Oh. Oh, that just has its own fucking endings? Uh-oh. Interesting. Okay, so that was the locker. I'm assuming we
Kyle
don't need the laser claymore for anything else. We're not gonna do this one yet. I want to stay on Kyle is famous. Am I actually gonna stream this again? Am I actually gonna boot up this game for a second time? Because 2 hours isn't enough to do it justice? Oh, Christ. I just might, guys. Okay, so what? Sit at desk. Check in desk drawer. CDs are new. Flashlight is new. Oh!
Kyle grabbed the flashlight, but after jiggling the switch, he found it was out of batteries.
No batteries. Scavenge?
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for... Kyle began... After finding... Indeed,
No,
it
that
was
just
the
gives us
corpse of
Harry. Maybe we can buy batteries from the tech store. Let's try that. Desk drawer,
Kyle
flashlight,
grabbed the
back to desk. Check in desk drawer. CDs? Kyle began shuffling through this dusty CD pile that held all of his favorite music. Many of the CDs were unlabeled or broken. Take dance music, a little Awa beats, if you will. Assorted change.
Kyle scooped up the change scattered around the desk drawer.
Now let's go. Exit bedroom, leave apartment, tech store. Buy batteries with change! Guys, my brain is enormous!
Kyle counted out $1.98 in pennies and nickels and
Kyle
traded
is
them for
that
a small
guy!
packet of
Kyle
batteries.
is that guy! What a horrible monster. Insert flashlight.
Kyle crammed the batteries into his flashlight.
Hell yeah. Shove them in. So we didn't do anything with the CDs here. But we need to return home after we steal Techno Gym.
Kyle...
He's mine! You can't have him! So flashlight, return to apartment, return to bedroom, open the closet, inspect flashlight.
Kyle shined his flashlight
we're out
into
of
his moist,
time.
cave-like closet that had not seen light in years. After several minutes of searching around with the light, Kyle saw something unusual in the back. There was a pile of strange items, including a small little box with a large red button stamped with travel time.
Use Techno Gym to upgrade! Guys, I'm so smart! My brain!
Kyle pulled out the electronics from Techno Jim's eyes and fingers and started shoving them into the box.
Reasonable.
The box began to rattle, imbued with the power of the important technology found on Techno Gym. Suddenly, with a pop and a fizz, Kyle found himself taken back to 19th
Why is the
century
music
Europe.
so loud?
Kyle was riding inside of a horse-drawn carriage. He was surrounded by poofy dresses and shocked faces.
Did we at least have the decency to bring Techno Gym with us? Like what was left of him?
Every face was stone cold, made of copper, and definitely a robot.
Oh, we went to the future.
Kyle had found himself in Robo-Europe.
Jesus fuck.
The gathered robo-denizens' heads started spinning and shooting out alarm lasers from their mouths and ears. Kyle reacted quickly.
Oh, we need the laser claymore. Fuck. By consuming the lasers.
Kyle quickly started to consume all of the lasers. Every laser he swallowed gave him more power. Soon, Kyle bloated up and just kind of fart exploded. Lasers all over the place.
So fucking stupid.
The force of the explosion pushed all beings, metal and not, out of the carriage with great velocity. Kyle landed on a nearby rock face first and immediately lost consciousness. While Kyle was asleep, the robot citizens plugged his body into a generator linked to their main power grid.
Well, they shove a tube up our ass?
Having energy sucked from his body kept Kyle in a pseudo-cryogenic state, keeping him unconscious and preserved.
Weird.
Robo-scientists began to use Kyle's energy production as a center of study, launching the robot world into a golden age.
I mean, I'm glad for the robots, I guess.
Kyle started to power all of the technological advancements of the robot world. Wars began to center around control of Kyle.
Oh, maybe not.
Kyle was deemed as the most important discovery of the modern robo world. After humans took over the ancient robot civilizations, Kyle was mummified by the ancient Egyptians.
Wait, so that was actually in the past? Oh my god.
Kyle was stolen from a museum in the early 1800s.
By the British?
He was almost smuggled across the Atlantic in an old fishing ship, but sank. Scientists uncovered him encased in ice in the Antarctic and shipped him by helicopter for study. On the way, Kyle was accidentally shoved out of the helicopter.
This poor body has been on such a journey.
He crash-landed through the roof onto the bed in his apartment.
Oh. Casually.
After several days of lying unconscious in bed, Kyle began to stir.
He just wakes up? Holy shit. Kyle ended up in bed. Kyle went back in time. Fucking weird, man. So that's... Why does it say it requires the key? Of course, the British.
Kyle woke.
Okay. If we have the laser claymore, can we do that differently? So we need to do this. We need to do this right. Exit the bed. Desk. Drawer. So we're not taking anything we don't need. So we're taking the change and the flashlight.
Kyle.
Check in desk drawer. Flashlight. Back to room. Exit. Leave apartment. Leave apartment. Tech store. Buy batteries.
Kyle.
Insert.
Kyle.
Return. Steal Techno Gym.
Quickly before. Kyle glanced at the attendant, who was staring.
Return to apartment. Return to bedroom. Open closet. Flashlight.
Kyle shot. There was a pile of strange items, including a small metal box with a large red button.
Oh, I
stamped
didn't
with
get the
travel time.
claymore. So we need to die. Take box for later?
Kyle stashed the device for later.
No, this is just naked, right? See, there's actually a little bit of strategy that goes on here. So, wither away. We need to be a
Kyle
ghost.
is
Sit at desk. Flashlight.
Kyle.
Change.
Kyle.
Back to room. Exit bedroom. Locked door.
Kyle walked over.
Float through.
Kyle used.
Laser claymore.
Expecting a battle. Kyle.
Back to hallway. Can we do this? Tech store. It's gonna be close. Buy batteries.
Kyle.
Back to tech store. Techno gym.
Quickly. Find.
Oh, it's close.
Several. Kyle.
Oh, it's. No, we ran out of time.
Kyle hurried
I
to
don't.
the set.
Oh shit!
For
I don't know.
normal,
If, I don't know if we can take the laser claymore with us. I mean, we just need to choose a different outfit, right?
To choose the perfect outfit.
Suit of armor. Sit at desk. Let's just choose like
Kyle wrote down his
the
first.
most asinine questions.
Kyle wrote. Kyle.
Great. We have clothes, asinine questions. Let's just skip to the end of the day.
Kyle responded.
Answer politely. Obviously,
"And I
we're
as well,
just
Rachel,"
we're
answered
just
Kyle,
taking this
extending
as
his
casual
hand
as
in
possible.
greeting. After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. "Good evening, everyone," said Kyle, looking at the camera. "Welcome. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction." Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved. In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor.
We forgot to eat! Shit! Okay. Okay. Exit bed. Closet. Outfit.
Kyle decided.
Armor.
After
Kitchen. Open fridge.
Kyle opened
Eat fridge.
Kyle pointed his neck directly upwards and hoisted the fridge on top of his face. Somehow, miraculously, he wrapped his mouth around the device. He started to swallow.
Oh, horrible.
In one slow, horrible movement, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back out.
Oh. Bad food. Oh, we need bad questions. We wasted a little bit of time, but it's fine. Write notes.
Kyle wrote
Is your
down-
mother a mother?
Kyle
In
wrote-
a rag hole?
Kyle
I
wrote
purposely ran over a puppy.
Kyle-
Are you guilty?
Ky-
I wonder what bad food does for us.
Sitting across from his host chair was a Good evening,
She
Kyle,"
really
she
doesn't
said,
comment on
looking-
the armor?
Kyle responded. "And I as well, Rachel." After other mild a moment. "Good evening, everyone," said
Introduce Rachel.
Kyle vomited all of the horrible things he had eaten earlier onto the floor.
Fuck.
Rachel looked at Kyle, concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to play it cool and keep the show running. Kyle stopped, then vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice.
Oh.
"Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction." Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled. "Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. So we might as well dive right in," said Kyle. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier. "Rachel."
Are you guilty?
Kyle threw his questions on the floor, stood up, and pointed at her. Rachel's eye twitched slightly. "Guilty of what, dear Kyle?" She smiled disingenuously.
Guilty.
Spat Kyle.
Of your crimes!
Of your crimes!
Rachel did not answer. Her eyelids both started twitching uncontrollably.
Guilty! Call the police!
Kyle whipped out his phone and started dialing
We
the
have the
police.
phone!
Kyle quickly realized that the broken phone he had gotten for free was not able to call anyone.
No!
Kyle looked sadly at his hand, realizing he had botched a wonderful opportunity to be helpful. Rachel looked at Kyle smiling. Her eyebrows twitched a
Oh,
bit.
she's gonna kill us.
"What's the problem, Kyle? Anything I can help you with?" She glared, still smiling. Kyle looked up from his hand sadly.
Oh, what a
He
pathetic
slowly shook his
creature.
head. The interview continued on. Rachel answered questions cheerily. Kyle forced a smile through the entire episode, but he felt Kyle had missed his chance to be helpful.
Oh, there's a reload animation. Rachel was. Kyle found out something interesting about. Wait. Oh my god. Rachel was guilty. There are 5 Rachel was guilty endings. Interesting.
Kyle woke up.
So here's what we'll do. Let's browse until it blows
Who
up
is
in our
the-
face.
Phone. Kyle's
Great. Scavenge for
Kyle-
gossip.
Kyle firmly.
So happy about.
Exit bedroom. No, we're naked. Fuck. Return to bedroom. Oh, we need to eat too. Shit. Let's restart. So let's browse social media until we see the first.
Kyle start.
Stay up late.
New East Bridge. Another
Grand larceny.
in crimes.
Rachel May
to
unexpectedly.
unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after. Who is the bug vigilante?
Okay, so open the closet.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose.
Suit of armor. Why not? It doesn't
After
appear to
much
affect
squeezing-
anything on this route. Exit bedroom. Kitchen. Let's actually eat normal food this time.
Kyle opened the fridge. and
Prepare breakfast.
Kyle
Eat.
Kyle ate his breakfast.
Food. Do we need to listen to the gossip? We might. Scavenge for gossip.
Kyle.
What are you so happy about?
Exit. Leave apartment. Visit.
Kyle. A middle-aged.
Nope, not enough time. So
As Kyle
we didn't
approached
prepare.
her, Rachel looked
We
up
didn't
and smiled.
prepare questions. Dude, the 30 hours actually a really, really tight time limit.
Good evening, Kyle. Kyle responded.
I mean, I guess we
After
see what
other
happens if
mild
we don't
exchanges
prepare
of questions.
questions.
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
If we gossip about the neighbor, this might start some. I'm actually curious because we have the gossip and the information that Rachel May is leaving the country.
Good. Gabby threw the intercom on. Kyle.
No.
Kyle.
Shit. Reset to Oh, there's a reset to interview. I'm
Kyle,
so
hurry.
stupid. Okay,
Tonight-
shake hands.
A moment.
Start broadcast. Introduce.
Tonight, Kyle motioned to Rachel, who's.
Glad to be here.
I'm in a shock. Kyle realized he had never bothered to prepare any notes for the interview. Knowing he had the eyes of millions upon him, Kyle came up with a solution quickly.
Fuck. So fucking stupid, man. Blame Rachel.
Rachel, I need to be honest. You're not terribly interesting, and I could not think of what I should ask you.
That's so fucked up.
In fact, continued Kyle, I would far rather interview a fish than I would you.
That's fucked up, man.
And furthermore, said Kyle, I'm not sure I could tell the difference between a you and a fish. Kyle leaned back in his chair and desperately hoped the blame had been shifted adequately.
Wow, what an asshole. I mean, she is a criminal, supposedly.
Rachel glowered at Kyle. Kyle glowered. Kyle no longer had a guest and spent the next 42 minutes staring at the camera silently.
Kyle prepared by blaming others. So reset to interview. So I guess we just, because we have that option, we can just blitz through all of these
And I as well, Rachel,
unprepared
answered Kyle.
ones.
A moment
Start broadcast,
Good.
introduce,
Tonight. Kyle. I'm
not prepared,
Knowing he had-
run away.
Kyle ejected from his seat and ran out of the studio as quickly as possible. After it became apparent that Kyle was not coming back, the producer ended the episode and everyone went
Imagine
home.
sitting down saying, "Hi, it's nice to be here," and the host just leaves. Got prepared by running away. Reset to interview. That's actually a really good option. I like that a lot. So you can get the setup you need and then do the interview to do multiple of the endings. That's actually super nice. I'm glad I noticed that button. Introduce more.
Knowing
Play
he-
dead.
Kyle slumped in his seat and played dead. Kyle, what are you up to? Asked Rachel, still smiling. Kyle did not respond and hoped nobody would ask questions. Kyle, why are you pretending to be dead? Asked Rachel. I can see you breathing. Kyle held his breath. The producer whispered to Rachel over her earpiece.
Give a couple slaps across the face and see if he wakes up.
Rachel got up from her chair, walked to Kyle, and slapped him firmly across the face. Rachel slapped Kyle continuously, trying to get him to stop play acting.
She's committed. Oh, also, Kyle's committed.
Other members of the crew stepped into frame to start slapping Kyle as well.
It's the scene from Airplane where they're all trying to get the lady to calm down. They're just beating the shit out of her.
Soon, Kyle was lost in the amassment of people around him, all slapping his face with both hands. The slapping went on for many hours. Kyle did not wake up. Eventually, Kyle did not need to pretend to be unconscious.
Yeah, reasonable. Got prepared by dying. Let's eat. Let's become Rachel.
Kyle responded.
We'll get to this eventually.
A moment after Good evening. Tonight,
Become
I have
Rachel
the pleasure
May.
of However, said Kyle, suddenly dropping his voice, Rachel May is not sitting next to me. She is not new to this show. She did not walk in before me. In fact, said Kyle, I am Rachel May. Rachel looked at Kyle, confused, and silently mouthed the words, You are who? Kyle stood up quickly and threw his arm high above him, pointing upwards.
What a stupid game.
I have never been, Kyle!
He proclaimed,
I have never been the host of the show Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Kyle looked and pointed directly at the camera. I am here for but one reason, to interview myself.
This game is fascinating.
Kyle sat down in his chair and went to produce the notes he had taken earlier. It was then that Kyle remembered that he had not bothered to prepare any notes for the interview. Realizing he did not know how to handle this situation, Kyle began sweating profusely.
So we are
But he
Kyle.
continued. Firstly, he said, Is your name Kyle?
No!
Kyle slammed his fist down repeatedly. Then he stopped talking.
What? So Kyle and Rachel May are here?
A thick, uncomfortable silence hung over the studio. The silence did not end. The cameras continued to roll. Nobody moved or spoke. Eventually, Rachel got out of her chair and walked off screen.
That's the most reasonable answer.
One by one, members of the crew followed suit. Eventually, Kyle was left alone in the studio, camera still running, silently sitting in frame. This episode of Stay Up Late with Kyle became the longest episode in television history.
Wow. We stayed there for a while then.
Kyle continued to sit in front of the camera all night and into the morning, wishing it would end.
Did he...
As evening fell again, the crew shuffled back in one by one, getting in places to film that day's episode. Kyle continued to sit motionless.
Did he actually
cameras
die
rolling,
this time?
As the crew chatted about their days and got in position. Eventually, the crew officially started the next episode. Kyle was prompted to introduce himself again. Kyle had produced an incredibly artistic episode.
So fucking weird, man. Kyle was artistic. So I don't know if there's anything else we can do from that end. So let's reset. From here, let's do the same thing, but have questions prepared. So choose an
Kyle
outfit.
decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing...
Slick suit. Creme martini sunny ass in there. I think I want to eat something different.
Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole.
There's no fucking way. I'll reset for that. Open closet.
Kyle...
Skimpy suit. Sit at desk. Check in drawer. Small key.
Kyle...
Notes for interview.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Let's do the normal questions
Kyle
for
wrote down his...
asking ourselves.
Kyle...
I'm genuinely curious how us asking ourselves the normal questions will go. Exit, kitchen, pantry,
Kyle
unlock.
The pantry
We know what
door
the small
lock
key is
creaked
for.
as if it hadn't moved for years, but eventually opened.
Ooh.
Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard.
Chug.
Kyle voraciously grabbed the closest bottle, snapped the neck against the wall, and sucked out all of the fat within a minute.
Stop or chug.
Kyle wildly sucked down another bottle. He felt very sick.
Chug.
Kyle's vomit and the lard were mixing in a way to make it hard to tell which was which.
Finish off.
As Kyle finished the last bottle of lard, he felt a wave of accomplishment come over him. Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find
Can we
something
eat a
to
normal dinner too?
Kyle constructed a...
Eat.
Kyle ate his...
We have both bad food and good food.
Kyle hurried to the set.
I cannot wait to see what having both of these status effects does.
Sitting a...
Yeah. Approach.
Kyle responded.
We'll get to Scream.
And I as well.
Shake hands.
A moment after... Good evening. Kyle vomited all
Vomit.
Rachel looked...
Concerned.
Kyle, tonight I...
Become Rachel May.
However, she is not new to the... Kyle...
I've never been Kyle.
Kyle... I'm glad you asked, said Kyle. Yes, I am. Or, yes, you are, said Kyle, trying to figure out who was talking to whom. Or, I am...
Wow.
In a fit, Kyle continued to re-answer his question, trying to come up with the correct phrasing. Rachel spoke up. Kyle, I'm not a mother at all, so it doesn't really matter.
Lies! Impossible! I don't believe it!
Kyle banged his fist on the chair.
Oh my god.
Kyle, I've never been in a position for that. I've really just focused on my career. All you need to do is ask. Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle was silent for a moment. Then, realizing he had no idea what he was doing, he decided to let Rachel talk. So what about your career? Do you enjoy what you do? How'd you get into it?
I love the voice acting. The voice, yeah, it's so goofy.
The two continued talking for the better part of an hour, Kyle asking questions and Rachel answering accordingly. Eventually, Kyle's producer signaled to Kyle that it was time to stop. The broadcast ended. The crew, Rachel and Kyle said their
It ended up
goodbyes
going
and
well?
returned home. But Kyle continued to think about Rachel after the interview ended. Something about Rachel had struck Kyle. He wasn't exactly sure what. But he did know that he was interested to hear that she was single.
Kyle noticed Rachel. If we reset to interview, can I ask a different question?
Good.
I doubt
Kyle
it'll do anything.
And a moment after... Good evening, everyone.
Introduce, vomit,
Tonight...
become Rachel.
In fact...
I'm Rachel.
Kyle stood up quickly. Kyle sat down in his... Kyle read the first question on his list.
Okay,
Are
it
you a
doesn't look
mother?
like it does anything. I want to scream.
Sitting across...
I want to scream.
Kyle
Scream
responded.
and spin in circles.
Kyle stretched his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and... was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show. A moment after... Good. Kyle vomited.
Ah, darn it.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of
Okay, we're screaming.
Kyle was interrupted. Kyle shoved his producer out of the way, spread his arms wide, and began to scream loudly.
Ah!
He began to rotate slowly, screaming throughout, lightly brushing his hands against the faces of Rachel and his producer.
What a fucking weirdo.
After several minutes, Kyle was finished. He slowly put his hands to his sides and smiled. I'm ready, said Kyle. Rachel blinked at Kyle, shrugged, and walked over to her seat.
Is that literally?
A moment.
It doesn't change nothing?
Good evening, everyone. Kyle, tonight...
I guess we just keep going.
Well, Kyle produced the notes he... you've been involved in a lot of different things. In the soup,
I don't think...
Kyle... Rachel, I and many others.
Yeah,
would
it seems
love
like we've
to
gotten
know,
over our
Are you a
sickness.
mother? Kyle looked up from his
So
notes.
let's restart. So we know Rachel is guilty. God, this is rough. There are 6 on the town. We have 5 or 3. Oh, there are just multiple. Oh, there are 3 no notes endings. Oh, these have unlocks, not that you need the key. I understand. So, interesting. Okay, let's do more of the interview endings, I guess. Let's...
Kyle...
Let's get in the armor
Kyle...
and get the broadsword. I'm just curious, you know, if that does anything. Check
Kyle
lock door, float through, laser claymore. So great. We are as ready for combat as we'll ever be. Leave apartment. Visit neighbor.
A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Consume Gabby!
Kyle unhinged his jaw and swallowed Gabby whole. Job done. Kyle returned to the middle of the street.
That's it! It just brushes that... Okay, Gabby, confirmed. Visit tech store?
Further...
I don't think...
Kyle decided he should make
there's
a plan
multiple
about
haunt
who or
endings.
where he should spook.
Spook neighbor Gabby.
Kyle believed that Gabby would be delighted to have
But
him
we've
spook
eaten
about
Gabby.
a bit. Kyle started to slowly creep to Gabby's door in a very spooky way. He crouched by Gabby's door, cooing quietly and waiting for her to leave so he could cause her a spook. It didn't take long.
No.
Soon,
Huh?
Gabby
What?
exited her apartment and started walking towards her car.
Who did we eat?
Kyle crept behind her, invisible to all senses. Gabby opened the driver's side door and got in. She seemed to be leaving for some errands. Kyle was struck with a wonderful idea. Kyle started to run to the back of Gabby's car. Perhaps if he could catch her before she left, he could hide in the trunk.
But we're dead.
Kyle could make noises as she drove. He could follow her around on her errand, knocking over small objects nearby.
Okay, so we are still a ghost.
Gabby put the car in reverse and floored the accelerator. Invisible to all senses, Kyle was crushed underneath the back tires of the car, creating a large boom.
But we're a ghost.
Gabby figured she'd hit the curb. She put the car into forward and floored the accelerator again. Kyle became locked in an endless loop of Gabby trying to move her car out of her parking space, being run over repeatedly.
Endlessly?
As the day started to wane and it drew closer to the time of Rachel's interview, Kyle ceased to be a ghost, per normal.
Oh, per normal, you're right.
Gabby neither noticed nor stopped. Kyle was forced to conduct Rachel's interview while being run over.
What?
Kyle's crew moved the filming set next to Gabby's apartment. Rachel appeared. Kyle asked her many questions. They shared several laughs. The interview was successful. The sound of Gabby flooring her car's accelerator drowned out large sections of the episode.
I have no words for this ending.
Kyle's first...
Oh,
Kyle
no.
is now a ghost.
So, what? But we ate Gabby. I guess there's just no, I need to become a ghost first. Wither away. Open closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided.
Armor. Desk.
Kyle.
Key. I don't really know why I want the key. Locked door. Float through his ghost. Laser claymore. We actually haven't used the artifact yet. We should try that next. Kitchen, pantry, unlock.
Instead of an assortment,
Grab a bottle of
Kyle-
lard. Turn the hallway, leave apartment.
Kyle decided he should
We've
make
done
a plan
spook
about
himself,
who or
spook
where
Gabby.
he should spook.
Spook the interview, I guess.
The studio was empty. Being so early, the crew wouldn't arrive for several hours. Kyle gleefully skipped around the building, finding the best spot for himself to hide.
Uh-huh.
After searching for some time, Kyle decided to hide behind the guest chair.
On the stage.
Kyle quickly placed himself down and drew his legs to his chest. Soon, the crew began to arrive and set up for the interview that night. Invisible to all senses, Kyle went undetected. He watched as cameras were set up, screens were turned on, and pages were flipped.
We've unghost.
Within an hour, Rachel walked into the studio. "Hey, everyone," said Rachel, smiling kindly. "I'm ready to get prepped. Who do I need to talk to first?" Kyle's producer approached her. "Thanks for being here, Rachel. You should really talk to Andrea about makeup first, and then wait for when Kyle arrives." Kyle, knowing he was duping everyone, began to giggle
Oh, he's so
uncontrollably.
smart and silly.
It was then that he, like clockwork,
Like
ceased
clockwork,
to be a
baby.
ghost. The studio grew silent. Everyone stared at Kyle, head down, clutching his legs and giggling at the floor. Kyle froze. He had found himself in a situation he had not encountered before. Kyle started to crawl out of the studio on all fours, hoping
Like
his small
Gollum?
form would avoid attracting more attention. Everyone wordlessly watched as Kyle slowly made his way across the stage, through the production set, and out the door. As soon as he was outside the studio, Kyle broke into an all-out sprint.
Clanking the entire way.
Kyle made his way back to his apartment as quickly as possible. Kyle sat in his kitchen and processed what had happened during his day. He vowed that he would never haunt anything again.
Yeah, so I think we've done all of the haunt endings. Kyle is famous.
Kyle
Oh!
woke up. He
Oh,
is
God,
famous.
It's so fabulous, but too bright. Okay. Oh, these are all the around the town. Okay, so we don't need to do any around the town stuff. Interesting.
Kyle woke.
Obviously the lard is important. So let's desk, drawer, key,
Kyle,
CDs. Back to room. Kitchen, pantry,
Kyle wanted
unlock,
the pen.
take lard.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Eat crust on
Kyle
fridge
started
wall.
scraping streaks of crud and spots of mold off of the walls of his fridge. After wadding it into a crusty, moist ball, Kyle popped it into his mouth and began to chew. Several minutes of crunching later, Kyle finished and swallowed the ball whole. It felt sticky in his stomach.
Well done, Kyle. It's good that there's one modifier instead of like 50 modifiers for bad food. Visit neighbor.
A middle-aged woman named Gabby
Deposit.
answered the door. Kyle produced his bottle of lard, bit the glass neck off, and wordlessly dumped the contents on Gabby.
I thought we were giving it to her. Wait a minute.
As sticky lumps of fat drooled off her face, Gabby looked at Kyle expressionlessly.
Just, yeah. Yeah. That's about right for Kyle.
After a long minute of silence, she spoke. Can I help you, Kyle?
No, okay. We gotta restart. Okay, so we know what we need to do. Desk. We're not wasting any time. Key. Back to room. Exit. Kitchen. Pantry.
Kyle wanted to act.
Lard.
Kyle.
Hallway. Apartment.
Kyle. A middle-aged.
Lard.
Kyle.
Deposit.
Can I help you, Kyle?
Oh my gosh, Gabby, did you hear that Rachel May is going out of the country soon?
Screamed Kyle. With one smooth motion, Gabby turned around and slapped Kyle with her lard-infested hair. But suddenly, she stopped in the doorway, her back creating a dark outline in the frame.
Ooh, spooky.
Perhaps, Kyle, she said. It will be better when she's gone. And the door shut.
Yeah, so she's definitely the arch-villain, Rachel May. But that didn't actually unlock us anything. Like, we got lore, which is cool. So let's restart and get the other option there, I guess. Desk. Key. Back to room. Exit. Kitchen. Pantry.
Kyle.
Unlock. Lard. Hallway. Apartment. Neighbor.
Kyle.
Lard.
Kyle. Can I help you, Kyle?
Run away.
Kyle tried to merrily skip away, empty lard bottle in hand, but Gabby caught his arm. Gabby twisted Kyle's shoulder around, neatly flipping him onto his back.
Oh.
Confidently, wordlessly, and with surprising force, Gabby started slapping Kyle across the face. Gabby continued to slap Kyle for several hours.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Eventually, Gabby stopped and returned to her apartment, locking the door behind her. Kyle painfully got to his feet and returned to the street.
What?
Quickly, Kyle...
Okay, we have Techno Gym.
As Kyle... Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock.
Shit. I don't know if the lard is gonna get us any other endings. There's a lot of stuff that we can do in the closet.
Kyle decided to take
We
some
haven't
time
tried
to choose
doing the
perfect
interview
outfit, knowing how
in
important appearance is.
Jeans and swimming
Kyle
goggles.
decided on a fashion-forward, casual style. He
Hell
could barely
yeah.
see out of the goggles.
Okay, so we're gonna try and conduct the interview normally with this set of clothes. Oh no, we fucked up. Sit.
Kyle
Notes.
wrote down his first question. Kyle.
We're gonna do the weird questions, I guess. Exit, kitchen, fridge.
Kyle
Let's just do.
Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast.
We're gonna
Kyle-
just eat. We're gonna do. Let's just skip the end of the day now.
As Kyle Good evening, Kyle responded. And I as well, Rachel. And after other a moment. Good evening. Tonight, I have the pleasure
Again,
of interviewing
no.
the lovely Rachel May, who needs... Kyle motioned to Rachel. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in.
Dive?
said Kyle. I'm very ready.
No
said
comment.
Rachel. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier. Hey, Rachel, ever eaten a raw egg whole? Asked Kyle. Like shell and all? Asked. Kyle continued. I had, like, a lot. It's really bad, though, so sometimes I spit it back up. There was... It actually gets easier the more you do it, continued Kyle without losing momentum. So don't start, I say. Rachel chose not to answer and looked in another direction. Kyle asked another question. So, said Kyle, my mother is a mother. My mother's mother is her mother and my mother's mother.
Okay, I'm following your logic so far.
And many mothers have mother's mother's mother. Is your mother a mother? Rachel went to answer and stopped.
Yeah.
I believe, she said eventually, that I should answer yes?
Well done.
Kyle asked another question. Hey, I ran over a puppy on purpose, said Kyle. Everyone in the studio froze. Kyle spread his hands out wide.
It's a joke!
Wow. Yeah, guys, pranks that aren't funny.
He started laughing from the bottom of his stomach. Nobody laughed with Kyle. Several minutes later, he stopped laughing and moved on. Kyle asked, Rachel, are Rachel's guilty? Rachel did not answer. After reading his final... Well, Rachel, if that's the case, Kyle, why exactly did you
Oh, we
decide
actually
to wear
got a
swimming
comment.
goggles today?
Shit, so we need to wear the armor and get all the way to the end? Shit.
Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast... Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well.
Did it?
But as he lay in...
Kyle prepared very well. So that didn't help us at all. Huh. What's bugs?
Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two.
Horrible.
Soon, he had a small handful of various insects, dead and alive.
Eat.
Kyle threw back his head and crammed the sticky, wriggling mass into his mouth. He felt refreshed.
It's still bad food, even though he's refreshed.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
Okay, so let's scavenge for bugs and keep them.
Soon, he had a... Kyle stashed the wriggling mass.
Ball of bugs. I don't even know what to do with the ball of bugs. Leave apartment, visit neighbor.
A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Consume Gabby.
Kyle, job done.
Tech store, techno gym. Mine. Oh, there's literally no other option. Weird.
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the... Kyle, after smashing his
Amnesia?
feet... Kyle...
Oh, we can't check the luck door again.
Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she
Oh,
realized
so let's
Kyle had
prepare
not
for the
put on
interview and
clothes
have
that day.
amnesia. Let's prepare for the interview but have amnesia. Choose an outfit.
Kyle
Suit. Boom. Sit at desk. Notes.
Kyle wrote down his first...
Am I a We're going to do the
Kyle
weird
wrote-
questions now.
Kyle ripped his page of...
Actually, we should do this first. No, I want to see what happens. Kitchen, fridge,
Kyle...
food, eat, hallway, locked door, force
Kyle-
open.
After smashing his features
Now,
into solid
skip
wood...
to end of the day.
Kyle, sitting across from his... As Kyle approached... Good evening, Kyle. Kyle responded.
Forget her name.
Hello. You... Kyle's ears began to ring from his concussion.
Yes!
Rachel looked at Kyle, slightly confused, but continued smiling. Before she noticed the glazed look in Kyle's eyes, the producer approached.
Time to get started.
He said, putting a hand on Kyle's shoulder.
Let's get stationed.
Kyle sat in the nearest chair, which was Rachel's. After a moment, Rachel hesitantly sat in the host chair. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Good morning, everyone, said Kyle. My name is... Kyle made a desperate effort to remember his name, or really anything. Kyle looked at Rachel. Do you know who I am? He asked.
Oh my
Rachel
God!
looked back, confused. Who are you? Well, if you're not Kyle, I don't know who you are. Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle made up his mind that he was probably Kyle.
Reasonable.
Well, he said, I'm Kyle. A long silence followed. Eventually, Rachel spoke again. And I'm Rachel. Hi, everyone. She waved. Hi, Rachel, said Kyle. So why are we here?
What a fucking stupid game.
Rachel was visibly worried. Ha ha, funny, she said. Weren't you planning on asking me any questions?
They're in my pocket.
I mean, I don't have any ideas, said Kyle. Kyle kept staring at Rachel. Someone coughed. Kyle looked around and noticed the crew. Who on earth are all of you? He asked. Nobody answered. Kyle got out of his chair and walked off frame, leaving Rachel alone with millions of viewers.
Notes.
Rachel smiled at the camera nervously. Well, she said, let me tell you some knock-knock jokes. Eventually, the producer ended the broadcast early due to
I wanted to hear a
technical
knock-knock joke. I feel betrayed.
Kyle woke up in his bed the next day, remembering nothing about what had happened.
Kyle forgot everything. Kyle had massive amnesia. Nice. We're actually getting through the interview endings. So...
Kyle woke up.
He was famous. So, open closet. I guess we have to try
Kyle
the skunk pasties.
Kyle chose the pasties made out of mashed skunk flesh. Getting the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue.
Why? I mean, I think at this point we just could do the interview as normal, right?
Kyle wrote down his first question.
I still want these in case I get a chance to ask them. Exit, kitchen.
Kyle opened the fridge.
Normal breakfast. We don't need amnesia, so we'll just skip to the end of the day.
Good. Kyle responded. And I as well. After other mild... A moment. Good evening, everyone.
No comment
said
on the
Kyle, looking at
pasties.
Tonight, I have... Kyle... Well... I'm very... Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier. Rachel, am I a mother? Kyle looked at her very seriously. Rachel was visibly unsure of how to respond.
Are you?
Well, Kyle, I think you might be a better source of answering that question than I am. But do you think I'm a mother? Asked Kyle, pushing further.
Objection!
Rachel paused for a second before answering. I think you inspire youth to pursue STEM fields, she answered. Kyle asked another question.
Avoiding the question, I see.
A burning question from the fans, said Kyle. Beef, do you prefer it mashed or blended?
Oh, horrible.
Rachel answered promptly. Mashed, and no more was said on that matter.
Interesting.
Kyle asked another question. Do you ever smile? Spat Kyle. Like, seriously.
She's been smiling the entire time.
Rachel stopped smiling.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're gonna be on the show, you need to smile,
What
okay?
I hate
said
this
Kyle,
guy,
not
dude.
smiling.
He's the worst.
You're here to get views, and you'll get more views if you smile. Here, I'll show you how. Kyle turned to the camera and gave the audience a huge, teeth-clenched, bug-eyed grimace. Rachel nodded and obviously wanted... Kyle asked... Rachel, do you feel guilty? Asked Kyle, hitting her with a hard question. Rachel raised her eyebrows. About what specifically, Kyle? Things. Things in general. Life. Rachel did not answer immediately. I think, she said, that everyone has things they regret, but those things aren't always what others would expect. Rachel folded her hands in her lap and didn't have anything more to say. After Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, Kyle, what on earth are you wearing? Are they made of skunks? Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned, but as he lay in bed...
But I was wearing skunks. Okay. So we're gonna eat. Let's just eat and wear something ludicrous.
Kyle...
Skunk. Kitchen.
Kyle opened...
Fuck it.
Kyle smashed his breakfast to a pulp using both fists. Kyle...
You can't even eat the fridge at that point. Fair enough. Oh my god. Closet.
Kyle just...
Skunk. Kitchen.
Kyle opened the fridge and...
Eat condiments.
Ketchup, horseradish, and mayonnaise entered Kyle's mouth at a rate that soon overwhelmed his ability to swallow.
That actually counted as good food.
Kyle spewed the excess condiment slurry across the kitchen, covering the furniture and walls. Kyle continued until all of the condiments had been emptied.
I cannot believe that counts as normal food. Let's just go.
And I as well. At the moment. Tonight, I have the... I'm in a
not prepared.
Knowing he had the eyes of millions. And...
No. What do the different outfits do, man?
Kyle's first decision of the morning. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor.
Okay, let's get the bugs.
Kyle's...
Can we give the bugs to Gabby?
A middle-aged woman named... Good morning, neighbor, said Gabby. Convinced...
I'm leaving with Techno Jim.
Kyle?
Okay. I guess one of the other things I know how to do is... Flashlight. Let's go to the tech store without any money.
Kyle.
And with the bugs.
Kyle's...
Don't ask me why. No. Need the money. You need the money.
Kyle.
Change. Because let's not take Techno Gym. Because there's other things that we can do in that instance. Buy batteries.
Kyle
Insert.
Kyle crammed the batteries into his
We
flashlight.
actually still have change. We're not leaving.
Ki- Kyle. There was a pile of strange items, including a small metal box with a large red button stamped with travel time.
I think let's do travel time for now, because this
Kyle,
must
bored
be
of
an
the
ending.
situation, mashed the button, hardly reading the label above. The box hummed and shook. The outside metal grew hot and slowly curved in on itself. In a moment, it was early in the morning. Kyle
So
had
low.
gained several hours of preparation time.
Oh shit! Oh shit! We have... So now... Now let's get
Kyle
the
decided-
armor
Kyle,
and the
after much-
sword. The time machine gives us more time. Guys. Oh, we're not a ghost. How do we... Can we do it again? No. So you can only recursive once. That's good to know. That's how we do the... I bet that's how we do the more complicated stuff. Oh.
Kyle,
What are you so happy about?
So we have Techno Gym. Wait.
Kyle, a middle-aged good, Gabby. The door.
You can't return Techno Gym. Interesting. So we have extra time. If we do that specific order of operations, we can buy extra time. Which is it's a bit rough.
Kyle,
Oh no, we need... So let's become a ghost. Wither away. I
Kyle
want to
is
go to the
now a
future.
ghost. This does not
with
relieve
a
him of his
sword.
response.
I want to go to the future with a sword. And I think that's the way to do it. Flashlight.
Kyle,
Sorted change. So we actually do need Techno Gym for this one. We're not just stealing him for giggles. Back to the room. Exit hallway. Leave apartment. Tech store. Buy batteries.
Kyle.
Insert.
Kyle,
Return to street. Return to apartment. I think we're running out of time. So let's just open the closet, inspect with flashlight.
Kyle shined his flashlight
No,
into
we
his
can't
moist cave-like closet that had
No,
not
no,
seen
no, 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 no.
Kyle decided to stay.
I think we just need to be efficient. Desk drawer, flashlight. We also forgot gym, so that doesn't do us any good. Desk drawer, money.
Kyle's
Back to room. Exit. Locked closet.
Kyle walked over to the
Ghost. Laser claymore.
expect.
Batteries.
Kyle cramped.
Techno gym.
Fine. Kyle.
Techno gym's so expensive. I don't think we can do laser claymore. Can we... Flashlight? After we get the batteries to the flashlight. Return to the apartment. No, we can't use... the box more than once. Interesting. This is way more deep than I thought it was going to be. I want to take the laser claymore to the future, but we need the lit flashlight for it. Yeah. I don't think we can do it. And I don't think there's any other way to open the closet unless we can become a ghost.
Kyle decided to stay put, and
let's take the
Kyle
box
is now
with
a
us.
Ghost.
Wait, I don't need to be a ghost for this. Hold on. We need the flashlight,
Kyle.
the money, exit, tech store, batteries, flashlight.
Kyle crammed the batteries into his flashlight.
I wonder if we can get the batteries for something else. We should try bagging the batteries just without the flashlight. We are not taking Techno Gym. We unfortunately don't have the time. He's like a 5-hour investment. Return, bedroom, closet, light.
Kyle. There was a pile of strange items, including a small metal box with a large red button stamped with travel. Kyle stashed the device for later use.
Okay, so now what? Are we gonna go? Are we gonna get to the interview and restart? Let's talk to Gabby, I guess.
Kyle. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. As Rachel, Kyle was left all alone.
Damn it! What does the time travel box do for us? Shit! There's so much to do. This is actually an interesting puzzle game now. Okay, so the last one I want to try.
Kyle.
So we're going to browse social media.
Kyle started to
until we see
another
Rachel
May to unexpectedly leave the country on. Who is?
Get out of bed. Open closet. Outfit.
Kyle decided.
Normal outfit. Sit at desk. CDs. And then I'm going to eat without preparing questions because we have something we know about. Actually, this scavenge for gossip.
What are you so happy about?
No, we don't. We're fucking running out of time.
Kyle.
Okay, so we have gossip but that's not an item. Learning that Rachel's going on a vacation doesn't actually help us.
Kyle. And I as well. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Good evening, everyone.
Oh, there was something.
To Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle.
There was something. I just missed it.
A moment. Good.
Introduce.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. As Rachel started to reply, Kyle clamped his hand over her mouth. Hush, he said. I need to do something before we can continue. Kyle removed the CD he had brought to the interview and placed it in a nearby player deck.
Interesting.
The sound system kicked into action, piping Kyle's music throughout the studio. Rachel briefly listened, a blank expression on her face. Smiling, Kyle closed his eyes and enjoyed the music for a moment. Then, he spoke. All right, now everything's ready. Let's begin. In a shock, Kyle realized he had never bothered to prepare any notes
God,
for
that
the
didn't
interview.
help. That didn't actually help us any.
Knowing he had the eyes of millions upon him, Kyle came up with a solution quickly.
So the CD didn't actually help us. Is there any way to get a better phone? Can we buy with money? Exit the bed. Sit at the desk. Desk drawer. Sorted change.
Kyle?
Back to room. Exit. I'm just going straight for the tech store. Buy batteries.
Kyle count.
I'm stealing Techno Gym.
Kyle? A middle-aged woman named
Consume Gabby.
Job.
So what do the batteries do? We're naked.
Rachel smiled.
Ah, I don't know. I don't want to do this because I think this is the DLC, right?
Kyle thought very carefully about the first move of his day.
Yeah.
Kyle
Interesting.
thought
So
very
if we
carefully-
can that's like extra paths. But like we have so many, like we're not like we're like a fifth, not even. We actually got Kyle wasn't helpful. And that's the first one. So in my head, we need a better phone. So the one that got us that was the "Are you guilty?" question. I don't know. This is now an interesting puzzle game. I might stream this again. We'll see.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
What are you so happy about?
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his... Soon, he had a
So the ball of bugs is clearly important.
Kyle decided to take some time.
I genuinely don't know. No, can't access the pantry.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something
Bad
to eat.
food, bad food, good food, good food. I don't think these yield anything specific other than bad or good food.
Kyle smacked.
I don't know. The key opens the pantry. Why is the pantry locked? Browsing social media doesn't provide us any information. Okay.
Kyle, a middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. Slowly, Kyle started to twirl outside of Gabby's door. He tilted his neck upwards and let loose a... As Kyle continued to spin, Gabby shut and locked her door, as she did every time Kyle screamed outside her door.
She's like, yeah, the idiot's back.
Eventually, Kyle ran out of breath and fell over.
So that doesn't gain us anything either. So that's just giggles. So that's kind of what I was trying to figure out. So the lard, does the lard actually provide us something? So sit at desk, small key.
Kyle
Oh, I didn't actually. So stupid.
Kyle
Unlock.
Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grain,
Lard. Live apartment. Visit downstairs.
A middle-aged woman named
Lard.
Kyle produced his bottle of... Can I help you, Kyle?
Oh my gosh, Gabby, did you hear that Rachel May is going out of the country soon?
Screamed Kyle. With one smooth motion, Gabby turned around and slapped Kyle with her lard-infested hair. But suddenly, she stopped in the doorway, her back creating a dark outline in the frame. Perhaps, Kyle, she said, it will be better when she's gone.
So it doesn't actually yield us, like, a token. Which means that... So we learned that. That's great. I wonder what happens if we have the lard in the interview? Question mark. Might as well try it, right? So we need to put on clothes to not get the nudist ending.
Kyle.
Suit. Desk.
Kyle.
Kitchen, pantry.
Kyle wanted to act...
Small key.
The pantry... Instead of an...
Lard.
Kyle... Kyle opened the fridge.
Eat condiments.
Ketchup, horseradish.
Okay, so we're unprepared. And we have lard. But we'll survive.
Kyle
lard
walked over to
does
the
not help
strange
us
door
here.
in the hallway, but found...
Lard and key don't help us here. We're taking Techno Gym.
As Kyle approached... Good evening, Kyle, she said.
Interview Techno Gym!
Kyle roughly shoved Rachel out of her seat and placed
I cannot believe I
Jim
haven't
in her
found
stead.
that.
Hello, Techno Jim, said Kyle. I'm going to interview you today. Kyle grasped Techno Jim's hand and tried to shake it, but instead tore it off the cardboard frame. Kyle's producer, sensing viral media, pulled the bewildered Rachel out of frame and motioned the crew to go live. Cameramen moved, lights flashed, and suddenly the studio was on air. Hi, I'm Kyle, said Kyle, and tonight I'm going to interview a very special guest. He pointed at Techno Jim using the dismembered arm. Techno Jim started to smoke from the heat of the lights. Would you like to introduce yourself? Asked. Knowing Jim would probably not speak, Kyle took it upon himself to be his voice as well.
Oh, no.
Hi, Kyle, he said, raising the pitch of his voice. My name is Rachel May, and I'm a very special guest. Rachel's expression of confusion turned to shock. Well, Rachel, you look way too thin and absolutely terrible, and you should feel ugly. Kyle gave Jim a meaningful stare.
Jesus Christ!
Wow, Kyle, he said. I sure wish I could look like you. Techno Jim burst into flames. Instantaneously, the sprinkler system initiated. Curtains of water poured down from the rafters.
A little water effect. It's adorable.
Within seconds, the production equipment was doused in water. The set was soon aburst with electrical fires.
Oh.
Kyle's crew abandoned their posts as cameramen and sound mixers to try to put the fires out. As the crew scrambled around, the cameras continued to run. Kyle sat, motionless, staring forward.
Kyle really is a broken NPC.
Eventually, the fires were all put out. Kyle's producer shut off the broadcast, leaving Kyle's vacant stare as the final frame.
Horrible.
Kyle's ratings skyrocketed.
Of course they did.
Techno Jim became a staple on the show, often ending up destroyed by the end of each episode.
He's like, Buster from Mythbusters.
Although Rachel did not come back on the show, her cardboard portrayal did. Rachel was very popular.
Kyle interviewed Rachel. So let's reset to interview. We have the Lord.
Good evening, Kyle. Kyle responded.
Answer politely. Shake hands. More. Start broadcast. Interview.
Tonight, I have the... Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in, said Kyle. Dive right into this bottle, that is. Kyle pulled out his bottle of lard, bit the top off, and chugged it. Kyle's body rejected the lard. He began to spew chunks of lard and digestive fluid in every direction.
Oh my God.
Everything within a 10-foot radius was immediately covered, including Rachel.
Horrible.
Kyle continued to vomit. Rachel bravely fought to stay seated amidst the vomit, hoping to save the show from disaster.
Why? What could she possibly gain from this?
Unfortunately, Kyle's vomit had covered all of the cameras. There was no broadcast. Kyle finished spewing, eventually. The broadcast was not recoverable. All present were sent home to try again another day. As Kyle got home, he made a mental note to refill his lard supply.
Yes! Kyle consumed. I wonder if there's any other ending.
And I... tonight... Well, I'm very... Knowing he had the eyes of millions upon him, Kyle came up with a solution quickly.
Kyle brought lard to the interview. What was the other one I just got? Where's the one for interviewing Techno Jim? Oh, interviewed Techno Jim. God, there's so many more combinations.
Kyle hurried to the set.
No, I don't think there's anything else I can do. I wish we had more permanent upgrades like the phone. That would help, but I genuinely don't know. I'll play for another 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to call it. Like, in my head, I want to try bringing random garbage to the end of the interview. So, like, outfit, suit. Great. Scavenge, bugs.
Soon, he had a...
Save for later. What else can I bring to the interview that's fucking random? The CD was just a gag, but I'll grab another CD. Back to room.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for... Kyle was glad. Kyle decided Harry could wait another day and quietly folded a pile of filth back on top of him.
Okay, so I don't think that did anything. Like, there wasn't a take Harry with you. Exit, move to kitchen, condiments. So we'll eat a decent meal.
Kyle continued.
And we're at the
Kyle.
interview.
Good. Tonight, I have the As Rachel started. The sound system kicked into. Rachel briefly listened. Smiling, Kyle closed his eyes and enjoyed the music for a. All right. Now everything's ready. Let's begin. In a shock, Kyle realized he had never bothered.
So let's not use the CD.
After up. Good. Tonight, I have the pleasure. Kyle motioned to Rachel. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. I'm
No.
in a shock. Kyle
I don't know what
realized
to do
he
with the
had never
bugs.
bothered to prepare any notes for the interview.
I don't know what to do with the bugs. Oh God.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor.
Is there any way to take him with us and not be forced?
Kyle was glad
No,
to see
this
him
is an
again, but
ending.
was Kyle. Sitting across.
No, that's an ending. So yellow is an ending. Or a ghost.
Kyle quickly crouched down.
I don't know, man.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
If we don't eat anything, but we have the bugs, what happens? That's my question. So closet, outfit, great, scavenge, bugs. So we're not gonna eat. We're gonna actually prepare for the interview.
Kyle wrote down.
And then skip to the end of the day.
Good. Kyle responded. Good evening. Tonight, Kyle motioned to. In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor.
No.
And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle. Good. Tonight.
Become Rachel.
She is not. I have. Kyle replied, "No, because I am my mother." And, continued Kyle, I am your mother and everyone's mother, and also Rachel and Kyle, and I'm also your children and that woman you met in the coffee shop yesterday, and your high school best friend. And I'm your friends, and I'm that person next to you, and I'm also you! Kyle waved his arms around and smiled. No. It's a magic trick! Shouted
Oh
Kyle
my
happily.
God.
I'm everyone now! Kyle got up and happily danced out of the studio, arms spread wide. Although not taken seriously at first, sociologists quickly found that Kyle's claims were true. Somehow, magically, Kyle became everyone and nobody else
actual
technically existed
fuck?
anymore. After a massive amount of study, it was found that Kyle had stumbled upon a very unexpected sociological loophole. Nobody really knew what to do with this newfound discovery, so they decided to do nothing. Kyle continued to be theoretically everyone, and everybody else continued to be theoretically non-existent. It was a strange time to be alive.
I was not expecting. Kyle was everyone. So then, interesting. So that yielded in a completely different ending. So let's do it again.
Kyle.
Sit at desk. We actually didn't need to eat for that, so I'm not going to.
Kyle wrote down his first
Is
question.
your Are you a mother? I think I haven't done this one. I
Kyle
don't think
wrote-
these ones matter because the
Kyle-
ending happens anyway, and then we just skip to the end of the day. Do you need to become Rachel?
And tonight, she is not new to. Kyle stood up.
I have never been, Kyle!
Kyle sat down in his chair and went to produce. Kyle read the first question on his list. Are you a mother? I'm glad you asked, said Kyle. Yes, I am. Or, in a fit, Kyle continued. Rachel spoke up.
No.
Lies! Impossible! I don't believe it!
Kyle banged.
So we've already done that one. So we actually need to do the other one.
Ki-
Slick suit, desk, notes for interview.
Kyle
So
wrote
are you a
down
mother?
his first
Am I a
question.
mother? Am I a...
Kyle wrote down his. Kyle quickly. Soon, Kyle stashed the.
I genuinely don't know if the bugs will help us at all, but I'll try.
Good evening. Tonight.
Become Rachel.
Oh, wait. In fact, Kyle read the first question on his list. Are you a mother?
Well,
He said, brightening.
I'm glad you asked. Yes, I have produced many,
this is
many,
different.
many children.
In fact, said Kyle, motioning to Rachel, one of my children is sitting here with me today. Rachel looked incredibly confused. After a moment, Kyle spoke again.
I am your mother!
He stood up again.
What a
Give me
fucking...
big hug, daughter!
After a moment more, Rachel shrugged, stood up, and gave
There's
Kyle a
no
hug.
way anyone would hug a man
The
this
interview
out of it.
continued, Kyle talking about his supposed raising of Rachel and their times together. Rachel engaged in the interview with exuberance, answering questions
Why?
as best she could and enjoying
What?
every moment. From this episode, Rachel's childhood and family became a debated topic in her fan base. When fans asked Rachel about the matter, she would giggle and make a joke about the interview. Scientists and fans began to dig deep, finding evidence both for and against the Kyle is Rachel's mother theory. But no matter how much anyone dug, nobody was able to come to a conclusion on the matter. Kyle had created a public mystery.
What a fucking weird game. Kyle created mystery. Kyle is Rachel's mother. So I think I got the 3 endings that require you to interrupt Rachel. So I bet these endings require you to have different items, but I genuinely don't know. And we've haunted around, and there's so much more to do, man. Like, there is so much more in this game than I expected. Anyway, that's probably where I'm going to call it. Sorry for the late stream. Sorry for the short stream. But I had a good giggle, and you know what? Maybe I'll revisit this sometime later. And, yeah, we'll see if we can get more into it, because it is a very interesting puzzle. And it is very funny. Sometimes, guys, sometimes random is funny. Kyle is very quiet. Let's not play dead. What was Kyle was very quiet? I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate you all hanging out. Moth, if you're still here, thank you for hanging out. Plant, if you're still here, love you to death. It's been a silly game. I enjoyed it. I'm glad, homie. Yeah, maybe we'll come back to it for another time in giggles. I genuinely did not think there would be this much to go on. Yeah, I don't know. And apparently there's like 4 DLCs or 3 DLCs, so like yeah, there's... Anyway, I don't know. Have a good rest of your night, guys. I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed. See you later. Much love.